What up, what up, what up? What's going on, everybody? So check this out, right? I've been watching some stuff going on, and this is not related to crypto. That's why I titled this. Let's talk about music for a second. Because I've been seeing something going on in this space. See, as a creator, right? As an artist, as someone who just likes to use their imagination to express themselves through various means. One of the ways I do that for me personally is, through writing and through music and, things of that nature. But what I'm finding in the YouTube, and not even, well, I'm finding on YouTube, and not just YouTube or social media, is the same weird stuff we find in crypto. Because this is why I say a lot of times crypto, what you find in crypto, you find in life. Why? Because you're still dealing with human beings, you know? You're still dealing with human beings. But Daniel Moore, what's up? What's up? Top of the morning. Top of the morning to you. Hope you're well. Um, there's a lot of things that I find that's just questionable to me and sort of disingenuous, you know. I've been dealing with, well, I'm gonna say it like this. For example, people don't know how to stand on their word. They don't know how to stand on their word. And the reason why I say that is because somebody can tell you something and they do the exact opposite. They do the exact opposite of what they supposedly agreed to do. That's why we have contracts. That's why we have written agreements. That's why we have certain things to basically hold us accountable and ensure that all parties involved do what they said that they were going to do. And it serves as proof, whatever. Similar to what happens on a blockchain. We transact, someone buys something, someone sells something, it's recorded on a blockchain as proof, a ledger where anybody can go back to and refer to see if certain things were actually done. So, as an artist, if you're taking your craft seriously, right? And I've seen this throughout the years, like, this is why sometimes it boggles my mind that to this day, certain artists are still struggling with the same issues that creators of old have struggled with. It's so, people don't like to refer to history, they don't respect history. That's why people are doomed to repeat it constantly, over and over and over again, because whatever lessons that were present with certain experiences, you didn't take heed to the lessons, right? So that's why people are doomed to repeat them, because they didn't pay attention to the teaching moments that were present. You know, if you're an artist and, for example, you want to create music or whatever, songs and blah blah blah, and you understand that if you don't own anything, you have no right to anything. It's like if we don't own our crypto, we have no right to it. We don't own it. People could do whatever they want at your expense. You give your stuff away to third parties, guess what the third party can do? Whatever they want, and you have no say, no recourse, nothing. So I've seen artists in the industry deal with how labels have misused them. Labels have taken advantage of them, right? To this day, I remember many years ago, rest in peace to the artists, to artists like Prince. The dude wrote slave on his face because of how he was being misused by his record company, Sony, at the time, right? Only to the point where he created everything, a musician in his own right, like he created everything, and still couldn't own his own masters, still couldn't own it. This was decades ago. And people to this day are still dealing with that. Young people and people of old who've been in the industry for a very long time. And so when you see folks who are talking about they're selling, for example, they're selling you verses, they're selling you beats, they're selling you certain things. And specifically, let's talk about beats, right? Producers are selling beats. And when you say, well, how is this, how does this work? And then you find out, okay, the beats are actually being leased. And within those parameters, within that idea of the beats being leased, there are parameters attached to that. There's levels of how these beats can be leased, and you have to pay accordingly. For the cheapest, you get a beat. You could use it, but only up to a certain point, because you could only sell a certain amount before you make a profit. You could only have a certain number be streamed. You could only do certain things. So there's restrictions attached to each level of parameters within the lease. And then when you say forget it, you just want to buy a beat for yourself that no one else can use. They call it exclusive, right? You have to either negotiate or deal with the price that the producer's selling the beat at an exclusive rate, right? You get the track, you get the beat, and you get an agreement. You get it, so some form of a contract where there's an understanding, for example, of how this beat can be used, and that is yours and the producer. So it's 50-50. It's 50-50. 50% of it is owned as a master, quote unquote, by the producer, and the other 50 is yours. So you use it accordingly, right? Fair enough. Because once it's yours and you have your legal affairs, you have an attorney on your side, then you could do whatever you want. But you know, at least it's yours. 50% of that joint is yours. So if anybody ever decides to use it, they would have to face some type of legal consequence on your end, because if you didn't give permission and you didn't have agreements with anybody else for them to use your beat, they're stealing it, then they're going to have to deal with the repercussions. Either take it off the internet, streaming platforms, whatever you're using it for, or pay up, right? Okay. You got folks who've been blackballed, like, or just not even blackballed. You got people who've just been misused and abused, who had no other choice but to go independent or do whatever. And they're selling beats, telling you it's exclusive and sending you no agreement. So you got. I know people who are going through this. So they get got. They create something and they put it out. And then now they're in hot water. They got to go through some kind of litigation, which costs more money. And the folks are independent, so they're paying everything out of their own pocket. They have no type of label, no machine behind them helping them feel through whatever drama. No sampling clearances, nothing. They have to pay for everything. Bought a beat that was supposed to be exclusive, but received no contract. All they got is an email. Use the beat, put it out there, And now it's like, oh no, 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 no. You shouldn't have been able to do that. No, this wasn't this. What do you mean? But they didn't have a contract. So they're stuck. And they have to either scrap it, get rid of it, or deal with litigation, spending more money. And it takes away from your ability to create. It takes away from your craft, you know? And that's some of the things that I find like with this whole thing right here is just weird. People have to be careful. You have to know what you're doing. Like anything you see me put on this channel, I get no dime. YouTube doesn't pay me for anything. I don't. It's not for profit. It's just for fun. But rest assured, like if I decided to do something else, like my whole would be different. Everything would be different. Would be completely above board because I understand the game. But a lot of people don't and are unwilling. They're unwilling and then don't understand why they remain in the same boat that they're in. No one's listening to them. They're getting no recognition. They're getting no engagement online. They're getting nothing. It's because you're still playing a foul game. You've been misused and abused by the industry for a very long time. And instead of learning anything, you're actually becoming a conduit for the corrupt practices of the music industry by engaging in activity, doing the same bad things that were done to you onto others. That's what you find. That's what you find. So you see, I like to work from a perspective of joy when I'm creating. It's just a place of just like, because there's no bounds to creativity. There's no bounds to it. Only you place the restrictions. But as far as imagination, power, and creativity, there's no limits. You can't bottle up creativity in a box or in a bottle and sell it. It's either you tap into the energy that's all expansive or you leave it alone and do other things. So it's like whatever. I'm not gonna attach, oh, I gotta make this money. No, you just do what you do and keep it moving. That's it. That's when it's pure. But when you have this thing of, oh no, you gotta, you put these restrictions on yourself or these expectations, like we call it in expectations, that word again. And we want to just do things for that. And I'm doing all this just to make money, then you're gonna find yourself in a weird situation where desperate means, yields desperate measures. Like you're just gonna do things just to do it, and it takes away, it affects everything good that you're trying to do. And it's not gonna come off the same. People are gonna look at it and say, oh no, that's nothing. But it's just weird. It's weird. Folks are selling anything online to make a dollar. Anything. Anything and everything. I've seen it. They got leasing MP3 $29. Then the next one is like gold lease $50. Then or silver lease $50. Gold lease $100. Platinum lease $200. Exclusive. If you want an exclusive, you gotta negotiate. Okay, you negotiate, you get your exclusive, but you don't get a contract, but you paid. That's a problem. Or you just were desperate and you just will figure, okay, let me just get, and then they said something, and then they want to, ask you, what are you doing with the beat? No, it's your business. You bought it, but you got no contract to claim, to support your claim, your position. And these folks, this is what they do. There's a lot going on. Like I'm not really engrossed into it like that, but I've been exposed enough to see, oh man, this right here, folks, it's a wild, wild west even in that. We used to the wild, wild west with crypto, but this other thing, folks like to create an art and include art into crypto. You want to include, this is what this whole NFT, and then attach money to it, right? NFT art, monkey pictures and ape pictures and weird pixelated simple of simple. and back in 21 was sold for thousands and thousands, even millions of dollars, JPEGs. Then when you attach music to it, oh, okay, yeah, more creativity, this and that, but you want money for it. But then there's things attached to that because the music, if it's not your own, you got to deal with the fact that it's not your own. You don't own it. Whatever you don't own is not yours. It's simple. You don't own your keys in crypto, they're not yours. You don't own your music. You don't own the rights to anything art that you created. You creating in an you express it, your art through music. You don't own it. It's not yours. It's crazy. You know. James Doe, what's going on? Westcott, peace, peace. Alan Fizzamate. What's up, man? Keep preaching. Look, I nice, so I gotta sleep. Looking forward to rewatch it tonight. Shout out to you, Spoofy X, the Zugs Wang, these names. But yeah, it's like that, you know. I remember early years ago, I asked somebody for a beat. I asked them what they were selling the beat for. Oh, such and such, such and such, and they said exclusive. And I asked for exclusive, like They said, yeah, we'll do it exclusive, this and that, that and this. And then I got the beat. This was years ago. I got the beat, and okay, exclusive. And this is how I learned. I'm like, yo, there's nothing it's not exclusive, because if I do something with it and it blows, right? Something happens, then you're gonna come knocking on my door trying to rain on my parade. So I don't even touch that joint. Like if I touch it, it's like, yo, for free. It's free. It's nothing. But I learned. That was a $200 lesson right there, man. $200 I could have put in Hex. At the time, Hex didn't exist, but you know what I mean. Yeah. $200 I probably could have put in Ethereum. Like 5 years ago or something like that, 6 years, when I was super degen. Super degen. I didn't know about nothing. I was learning. You know? And the same producer struggling. Yeah, because you're doing struggling crap. What's wrong with you? Yeah, you're gonna be struggling because you're trying to get over on the people, robbing the people, not doing good business. It comes back to you. It comes back. Bad thing, you know what I'm saying? Like what goes around comes right back around. Cause and effect. Right? Karma. The boomerang theory, whatever you want to call it. What you do comes right back to you. You know, if you're not doing it from a position of being, the real joy, this and that, that and this, if you don't own it, if you're not creating something from something you own and protecting it, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And I always got to bring it back to crypto too. This community is in shambles. This community is depending on how you look at it. This community is twisted, man. It's twisted. Folks lost their way. They lost their way. It's not their fault, but they lost their way. So it is their fault. They lost their way. They're thinking people, or should be thinking, in my opinion. Who am I? I just like to talk about what I like to talk about. People lost their way, yo. People lost their way. It's crunch time. They're crunching. They're about to talk about another thing, maybe more interest rate, another leg up on the interest rate. Where the boring private entity known as Federal Reserve Bank, talking about in the United States by the end of this month or into October, people not going to have any bread, any money. How? Yeah, they say they're trying to inflict propaganda and fear. You talk about folks are going to run out of money by the end of this month into October. Imagine spending $200 on 2.5 bags of groceries. I had to go through that literally. Like this is a clown world. So I can't expect anything different in the pulse chain situation. They're literal like there's just trash all over the chain. Oh, you can't extract value in your real world because everybody, these rates, Jerome Powell and all of them got to figure out how they're going to take more money from the people. So you're going to create trash coins and try to take it from the pulse chain that way and attract attention so people can on ramp into the into pulse chain on ramp on board. These are bizarre times, man. You know, I don't I don't I'm not amazed about some blockchain having 4,000 partnerships with different groups. Like Ethereum back in the days, there was a chart. It's online. Do the research. You could see from years ago. Like you would see a poster, if you will, about all the partnerships Ethereum is aligned with. And depending on your perspective, you would say, "Oh man, this chain is strong. It's thriving. It's the number one smart contract blockchain in the world, right?" So you're like, "Oh man, look at all these alliances. Look at the partnerships, man. This is like, oh, partnerships. This is all partnerships, man. Look at these partnerships. Nothing but partnerships. Partnerships everywhere, man. The Ethereum, man. You couldn't fit anything on the page. It was so filled with so many partnerships. You couldn't squeeze any more partners in the partnership for the builders and the partnership. You couldn't squeeze any more builders in that page. You couldn't. Okay. And it's strange when people don't see how like Vitalik doesn't talk about the partnerships. He barely talks about World Economic Forum. Nobody talks about that partnership enough. We don't talk about partnerships. I don't hear anybody in the Ethereum community like, go at Vitalik for not talking about partnerships, because Vitalik ain't afraid to give anybody smoke back with good reason. He got the bag. He got it. Comparing a Cardano and their partnerships to Pulse Chain projects and partnerships. Yo. I don't like. Does anybody care about what's going on in Cardano? Like, you hear Hoskinson talk about the whatever amount, hundreds of partnerships that Cardano. I don't understand how people don't see that. Dan Larimer left EOS. The partnerships that EOS had, because it's been years since I checked, the partnerships EOS had was crazy. And Dan Larimer, did you ever hear him talk about any partnership? Is Satoshi talking about the ordinals? BRC20? Is CZ? The CZ talk about maybe, I don't know. I used to experiment and play around with Binance, but it just, hey, I don't know. Is Justin Sun talking about partnerships with Steemit since he like aggressively took over Steemit? Aggressively. That used to be Dan Larimer's thing too. But Justin Sun's thing is, that dude was like the richest crypto troll, like the troll of trolls. Tron. I see. Do you hear? I don't even hear about Justin anymore. It's mainly because I'm, focused on what's going on the post chain side of things. Don't hear Justin Sun. Never heard him talk about the partnership he talked about with. It wasn't even a partnership. It was just a thing to talk about with the P3D guys, Justo and them, Just Game. He got justed. Yeah. The same day the thing launched. You never forget, 4 years ago. Same thing. Same day the thing launched. Dude got live on social media. That was the closest thing to talking about a partnership or something. When he wanted to engage in whatever the P3D Just guys, Just Game, whatever they created. They launched something. He tried to get in and couldn't. Had a problem. Some kind of deficiency, some kind of flaw took place. Live. You hear him talking about partnerships? Right. Only person I hear who's maybe talking about some partnership. Tin Top, what's going on? The only person I see maybe talking about partnerships is your man Jacula. And the partnership I don't know what that guy doing. I don't know what he's doing. I don't understand what he's doing. He got a game thing going on. I don't know. I don't understand. It's been a year. It's been over a year. And look, and still waiting for these sacrifice things to come. You know what I'm saying? What partnerships like is work? This is why I don't. I still waiting. Still waiting. You showing. They issuing tweets about the power people. They issuing tweets about how the pulse chain ecosystem, all these coins I'm waiting for pulse chain price to go up, man. I don't want to know about your projects and all these projects going on. You didn't even launch. You didn't even launch. Whatever you got, I don't even know what you got. I don't understand. Don't care. You didn't even launch. We're one day closer to the bull market. We're one day closer for the next all-time high for Hex, Pulse Chain, and Pulse X. I'm not thinking about X, Y, and Z. I can't afford to. I'm already divided 3-4 ways already. Like, I'm divided crazy, I can't afford to be thinking about 50 other things. Yo, shout out to y'all that's bringing so many eyes over. Yeah, sure. I just hope that those people, while they come into the chain using whatever methods of whatever meme technology to get into the space, I hope they don't meme themselves out of the space. You know what I'm saying? I hope they don't get tricked out, because that happens all the time. It happens all the time. Right now, it's not about understanding how to make the crypto work for you. It's about understanding which coins you could trade for the other. That's what they're doing now. That's what they're doing. It's about which coins you could trade for the other at a profit. That's just the thrill for right now. It's just what it is. You're seeing charts every day on your timeline, or I should say on mine, of a new coin with a green candle hockey stick going all the way up. Green, new token, blah, blah, blah. A happy birthday token. Oh, yeah, it just went all the way up. Snuggle token. Oh, it just went all the way up. Victoria's Secret token. Oh, it just went all the way up. Every day It's a thing you're showing you about a hockey stick. Trading. That's it. That's all that's taking place. That's what's been dominating. And I think it's gonna continue to dominate thanks to quality of life. Quality of life. Everything going up in price. Except our crypto. That's crazy, man. Everything going up in price. So people desperate, man. They're gonna throw $100 into, shoelace token. See what it does. Like that's yo, man. We've seen this already, man. We've seen this already. This is fascinating because people forgot and don't care. And some forgot and not even forgot. Some just simply don't care. They just let the greed take over. You don't want to become like these corporations that got all the money first. They got all the money first. When Charlie 19 was a thing, the corporations got paid first. They got the bulk of the $10 trillion bailout. They got the money first. Greed. And what did we do when we got, many of us got allowances called stipends, called stimulus. What did we do? What did some of us do? We gave it back to the greedy corporations. You know what I'm saying? We just gave it back to them. Because, a lot of us were home getting boku guap. But you didn't even have to work. You didn't have to work. Like you didn't even have to go to work. You're getting racks on racks every month. And instead of like using that to work, I used to see a tweet. If you had a $1,200 stimulus check and you put that joint in Hex, I don't see that tweet anymore. How the bread would have just multiplied. I used to see it for Bitcoin too. $1,200 stimulus into Bitcoin, this and that. How it multiplied. That was crazy. But a lot of us, we didn't care. We just gave it back to the greedy corporations. And so that many of us, even now, at the bottom of this pyramid, in the pool of debt slaves, we becoming greedy too. Greedy just to buy a bag of beans and rice, some water. If you're into meat, you're buying your steak, trying to get some steak, or you go get a can of Spam just to eat. You know what I'm saying? Might develop some bad habits. Get you a pack of Newports. You know what I'm saying? Like to cope. Instead of like adopting and creating the discipline you need to fortify yourself so you can survive through this storm. You know what I'm saying? It's tough out here in these crypto streets. And then they're trying to get you with the music. Like these folks out here, everybody trying to get you. Everybody trying to dig in your pockets ferociously. Can't be doing that. Can't be allowing that. You cannot allow the people to dig in your pockets ferociously, disrespectfully, digging in your pockets. Again, nobody's gonna respect your money more than you, folks. Bars. Hockey stick formation sounds a little. Yo. Yeah, but that's what they issuing. Charts after charts after charts after charts. You got one guy who got exposed because he was in a private situation talking about how he's gonna launch something and didn't understand he was live. You dropping something. Like folks are just, you know what I'm saying? It's Wild Wild West for real, man. And listen, folks, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Gotta keep these people. Gotta go back and till the soil. You know what I'm saying? On this plantation. But take care of yourselves, every last one of y'all. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Be well.